Empowering those affected by the disease of addiction and help them overcome the bonds of dependency. That's the mission of Deer Hollow Recovery and Wellness. In a sponsored segment, Travis and Matt are here to talk more with us about that. And guys, we're going to talk specifically today about the impact of addiction on relationships. But before we get into that, on a more broad sense, what type of addiction recovery programs do you provide?
So we focus on trauma, which is the underlying reason, people get into addiction. And that's just the big focus is, focused on trauma. So.
Okay. Let's bring in the relationship issue now, because when someone is dealing with addiction, not only does it impact them, but it can impact people around them as well. Parents, spouses, children. Talk about the impact.
Yeah, so it damages the relationships, as you just said, with our family, our children, our friends, your higher power. It damages the relationship with your spirituality and, most importantly, yourself. I mean, you hurt that relationship, and what we do is we focus on getting those relationships back, because when you come in and you work on the program and you work on yourself, you have to have a happy and healthy place to go home to, and you have to mend those relationships.
Now let's bring you in. You actually work on exactly that.
Yeah.
How is it possible? What do you do to help people overcome those and then heal those wounds that have taken place?
A lot of the things that we do in our program is just a little different than a lot of the other programs that are around. That relationship focus is actually centered in that trauma piece, because when you go through traumatic events and things like this, your relationships begin to sever and deteriorate real quickly and then enter in addiction, and then they destroy those relationships. So our main focus is to pull in family members, to pull in old friends, to pull in the people that matter most to our clients and help those relationships grow. And we foster that through a lot of therapeutic interventions that are very unique to us.
A lot of times people may get to that point where they think, you know what, we can't even save this. Talk about the types of success you guys have seen in bringing those relationships back together.
We get people that have pretty much totally given up on even trying any further, and in a short period of time, we're able to turn them completely around to where they're feeling proud of who they are again. They have a lot of hope, and those relationships really are solid again.
We have about 30 seconds left. A lot of times the person that needs help isn't going to admit it and come around. So is it important for people around them to notice that and try to encourage that?
Well, the best thing to do is to have the family find some resources to educate and help them, so they know how to lay that foundation and how to help their loved one when the time's right.
Okay, what's the best way to connect with you guys if someone is in need of this type of help?
Yeah, it's 888-5-WE-KNOW.
All right, that's very easy to remember. Appreciate you guys. Very important work that you're doing in our community. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.